Okay, so today I'm super duper excited because I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 Porsche Taycan Turbo S. This is the second to top trim of the Taycan range, and it is one of the fastest Taycans of all time, and one of the most powerful and fastest Porsches of all time. And so what you get is a starting price of $209,000, and this specific spec is actually $235,000. And so you get this Taycan is powered by two synchronized electric motors that are both placed, one in the front axle and one in the rear axle, to help this car have all-wheel drive, and that helps you make 764 horsepower just in normal driving mode, but then if you go into overboost mode for, I believe, 9 seconds, you will actually have 938 horsepower. So this thing is pretty quick, and it's faster than a lot of Ferraris. And also, in normal mode, you get about 600-ish pound-feet of torque, but then if you go into overboost mode for 9 seconds, you're going to get 818 pound-feet of torque, and that allows you to rocket to a 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds and onto a top speed of 161 miles an hour. And those specs are actually a moderate boost compared to the first-gen Taycan, which only was made a couple years ago, and that had about 600 horsepower and 500 or 600 pound-feet of torque, and that helped that car get to 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, and this 2.3. Also, the top speed is 1 mile an hour quicker than before, so, I mean, that is a pretty good boost, and it helps you rocket through the quarter mile in about 9.7 seconds, and yeah. And also, it gives you 266 miles of range on one charge, and actually, to tell the truth, that is the worst for all the Taycan models, even worse than the Taycan Turbo GT. I'm not sure why, but I guess it is. Also, you have 75 miles per gallon electric, so, I mean, this thing isn't horrible. You could smoke some Bugattis and still drive around a large city without having to refuel every 15 minutes. And yeah, that is $235,000, and comment down below if you guys think this is a bargain for 230 grand, and it could outperform most Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And so yeah. Also, some interesting history about this car is actually Taycan in Turkish, just a little fun fact, means a prancing horse. So like a lively prancing horse, that's what Taycan means. And it actually might mean that because if you look on the Porsche logo, there's actually a prancing horse, hence the name. And also, this was Porsche's first EV that was actually predecessed by the concept Mission E that should be showing right now. So, I've told you all the specs, told you some cool features about this car, and so now I think you have a rough idea of what this beast is like. And so, now, without further ado, let's take a closer look at the design. So first, let's start off with the front, and you're going to see some large changes if you pay attention closely, because first thing, now the updated version actually gets a flat headlights, which amount for better range, and they actually look cooler. And to tell the truth, I felt like the first gen Taycan actually kind of looked like frog eyes because of the way they were kind of bulbous, but I'm actually really loving these new design. You got actually 4 nighttime lights, so you got really good lighting. You got some daytime running lights as well here, these little strips, which looks cool as well. And you got a new like aerodynamic type of design that comes all the way across here, and new air intakes as well, which are functional, which is really nice, and they go straight through this piece right here to cool off the brakes and the wheels. And also you got some reflectors here, and overall the front, it's really an upgrade. You got more carbon than before as well, because you got this nice little carbon front lip spoiler and some plastic trim here. I really like that to have been carbon, but oh well. You got some driving pieces right here to help with your sensors and stuff in your like hands-free type of driving, but to tell the truth, I feel like that would have also been nice if that was covered over. You got a little camera there, and then you got some nice little air intakes here as well, almost like the base 992.2 911 Carrera, which is nice. You can see your massive radiators, some more air intakes like the Carrera, and also now you got this cool like design here. This is actually how you could tell the difference between the base Taycan and the highest trim Taycans, the turbo and up. So you got this nice little piece right here. The front, of course, is more aggressive with a larger lip than before, and the carbon stretches across here. Looks pretty nice. And also this color, it's called oak green metallic. I'm really liking this color as well. It looks super cool. And actually, check this out. You guys are probably wondering, why is the Porsche logo like dark silver type of color? And it's actually because Porsche now, in order for you to distinguish the normal models versus the turbo models, they actually add this really cool looking gray design on the logo, just so you know it's a turbo. And then you come to here, and some parts of this car are actually related to the Audi e-tron GT, so you'll see some things that are the same. You hop down here and you got these massive aero wheels. You could actually order these in carbon fiber, and these look sick when you're driving, but in carbon fiber I think they look better. You got these like air intakes here as well. Nice little turbo design logo here. Actually got 5 bolts here, which is pretty interesting. And if you look at this, since they made the rims look more enclosed, check out these brakes. These massive yellow carbon ceramic brakes. It's like a $5,000 option, but these things are massive. 1, 2, 3. They're about the size of 3 of my hands, and that's about 1 whole foot tall. So you got massive carbon ceramic brakes. You got your nice race style brake calipers, and then if you look on the side here, you got this like wide type of design, which looks really nice. And to tell the truth, I actually really liked the way they blended the type of 911 design with a new, more futuristic Porsche design. Because also you got this like hump piece right here, just like in the Carreras and turbos and any else 911. You got this, which is actually super cool. I want to show you all this. The way you open actually the charging port. It takes a while, but see. Then it slides up, then you do it again. You actually have to do it a couple times, and then it pops back down. How cool is that? And it almost looks kind of like an airplane wing. You got your electric lettering here in that silver type of trim too, just like the logo for turbos. If you look here, you got some good sized mirrors that has little blinkers right here. It's 3 little squares. And then you look at the overall profile of this car, and to tell the truth, it really looks like a 4-door sports car, especially from the view of the camera. You got these cool integrated handles like some of the 911 models. You got some air outtakes that sadly aren't working. They're actually, no, they are working, but it looks like they aren't. Yeah, so you got some functional air outtakes, which are nice. Some more carbon trim embedded into here. And I actually think this is smart what they do. They don't put it like all across here, because then every rock will scrape it and stuff. But like this, you actually, it hits the plastic, but not the carbon, so you can still have that beautiful look, but minus the damage to the carbon. You got some PPF here, some mud flaps. And then you hop up here and check out how low this roof gets, because the back of this roof literally gets about, it's my like shoulder, so the rear of the roof gets seriously low. You got this little window here. And then you come to the back, and for a non-car enthusiast, it is really, 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 really hard to spot why this is different than the first gen. And it's actually because of this. One, you got a new light here with this like silver type of trim, which is really nice. You got new like darker Porsche lettering there, Turbo S lettering. And so the main differences now is the rear light. You got some air outtakes that sadly aren't functional, or actually, yeah, they're not functional. That's a new design, and so is that. Also, now you have some carbon trim back here, carbon rear diffuser, which looks way better than before in my opinion. And you have this like cutoff for aerodynamics. Also, it looks really sick. You got some nice little light deflectors there, and then you come here and I actually had to search around for a little while, but you actually just press this button, get back, and you got your trunk. About 200 to 300 liters of capacity. You got that signature EV storage ports right here. I'm really not sure why every EV has that, but I guess they all just want to do it. You got 12-volt charging ports there, some electric charging cords here. The lip is kind of big, but to tell the truth, it's not terrible. And yeah, also you got this little button you can press here if you need to get out of the trunk, and you could lock the trunk and everything from there. And overall, it's actually a surprisingly good sized trunk for such a little car, and it actually extends pretty good deep in there. And yeah, another thing I actually like is that when this is closing, there's like dee dee. It's like a beeping sound, so it kind of warns everyone around that the trunk is closing. It's nice. You got a little functional wing right here, and the back view also looks a lot like the 911, but of course more futuristic and updated. You got also an LED rear brake light right there, and so yeah. I think we've checked out all of this exterior. Now let's hop inside. And these are open because we opened the trunk, and just pop that open electrically. And the car actually lifts up. Let me just show you all this one more time. Check this out. So the car goes back down, right? And then as soon as I open the door, the car will lift up to make it easier, supposedly, for me to hop in, but I don't know how good that works. Actually, no, it's pretty nice. So you have to kind of like lean down and get in, because it is really low, and you could feel it lowering. It feels pretty cool. And so now we're inside, and let's check it out. You got some nice matte carbon trim here, some like iridescent, I believe it's called. No, like some dark type of tinted silver almost looking trim here. You got some handles for closing the door. Of course, always nice and straight stitching here. Then your window switch and a little thing right here, maybe for your phone, or well, not a phone, but maybe an Apple Watch or something like that. And you got storage down here for water bottles or anything else like that. You got Bose speakers, which are pretty nice. I really like those speakers. And you got a little storage area right here. All Porsches seem to have this, where they have this tiny little storage area right in front of the speaker. I'm not sure why, but I mean, they want to do it maybe because they think it looks cool or something, but it's only my guess. You got some more carbon trim here, some speakers here, and I really like the way this is all like integrated into each other. Two screens connected. So you got a little, actually I guess these are electronically controlled. These air conditioner right here. You can lock and unlock your car, and then you have a nice storage area right here. It actually goes deep under there, but not really low, so that's pretty interesting. And one thing I actually haven't talked about is the leg room, because surprisingly I could stretch my legs like all the way and I still barely reach. So you have a really great amount of leg room. The seats are put like perfectly, so you have perfect like leg support and everything like that. And then the seats as well. I believe they're updated, or maybe not, but they hold it in place great for a performance sedan, and even the base one actually has these type of seats, which is nice. Well, actually, no, they have updated seats, and they should be showing right now. Yeah, also, got these like pieces on the side to hold you in place, Turbo S lettering here, and you could actually push these headrests are actually nice and plush, and I believe you could push this back and forth if you want more, like, I don't know if you want to sit more forward or more back, but it's interesting. And then you got more trim here, nice carbon, really love carbon. And then you got the infamous Toyota storage area, just like the Sienna. So I've seen it pretty much on every luxury car in the world. So you got this nice little storage area in here. You got Taycan lettering here, and then some nice little cup holders as well. They can actually open down or up, which is pretty interesting. Another one as well. And then you pop this up, and you got a little storage here for your iPhone that's actually charging. Dang, that's actually really cool. So you have, if you could see there, you have little like wind that blows, like air conditioning. So you just put your phone here and it charges it, and then it blows on it to cool it off, which is really neat. You have some more storage in here. To tell the truth, storage is not the greatest, but I mean, it's a Porsche. So you got little whatever sound system there. You got some 12-volt charging ports there, and then you got two USB-C charging ports there as well. So it's pretty nice. And overall, the cabin of this car also is really nice. The roof is pretty low, and you could actually dim the roof. Check this out, because if I look out, those lights are bright, right? But then if you look up, it actually dims the entire roof, so that if you're in like hot sun or something like that, then you can just dim it so that it doesn't go on you, the heat. But the only problem is with glass roof cars is the glass actually heats up like crazy. I mean, unless they have some kind of condition or something that they could blow on the glass, but the glass heats up on a lot of these cars that have this type of roof, so I'm not a huge fan of that. But yeah, also you got nice little mirror right there. You could store stuff, maybe like a couple dollars or something right here. And you actually got a light right here, so it actually only turns on in this position, but then it turns off when you go like this, which is actually pretty smart, because you don't want it on like this, because that's usually for blocking the sun. Also, you have like sideless mirrors here, some lights, so you could either make them shine in one area or like all around, which is pretty neat. And it's actually really simple. There's not millions of buttons. It's pretty much just a couple screens and nothing else. It's nice and simplistic design. So now let's test out these seat belts. And Porsches never are bad. Their seat belts are always really nice, smooth, comfortable. And so yeah. And now I think I've shown you everything. Now let's check out the touchscreens. But before we do that, I want to show you all one more thing, which actually, I believe this one has a sport chrono package, so it shows you the time. Of course, this one's off, so it's not going to show it. You got your nice little air conditioning here, and then speakers around there. And also, you got some nice handles here. Okay, so we got the key, and actually, it looks pretty cool. Check this out. It's shaped kind of like a sedan. It's a pretty neat looking key. You got lock, unlock, and you can open the trunk or the frunk. I actually haven't showed you all the frunk yet, but I could show you that maybe a little later. And so now let's check out the tech on this car. And you got your own screen for the passenger, which is nice. 4G. It shows what direction you're in, and in like the back of the car. It isn't in the same spec though. You also show the G-force, and if you press home, then you have your navigation, your media, your phones, devices, weather, YouTube, sport chrono, and actually one thing that's really ingenious about this, and it's actually maybe hard to see for the camera, because if you're the driver, then you can't see what the passengers are doing, so that, let's say the passenger's watching YouTube or something, and the driver, like, they don't want them to get distracted watching YouTube or whatever, and so they don't want them to end up, something happening, so they make it so that it blocks off the driver so that the driver can't see it. So that's pretty smart. You could go in all types of different modes. You could see like the cockpit, that's what we were just in, and you have sport chrono, and then you could have your best laps and everything like that. I don't know who's going to be lapping this though around the racetrack. You got navigation as well, and I mean it's relatively responsive, I think. Yeah, overall it's pretty responsive, surprisingly. The last Porsches I reviewed, they didn't seem as responsive. Yeah, so pretty nice. And so you got all that, really simple setup, and then you go here and you actually got more stuff here. Like you got Android Auto, but of course you have to connect it up. You can see your charging, your parking, you can listen to music and everything like that. And then go down actually, and you have video and weather and everything like that. So yeah. Also, of course, you got your map. So you can actually have two maps on at once if you want to be checking out like two different places at once. I'm not sure why you want to, but I mean, I guess you could do that. You have CarPlay, and also you can see the vehicle. You have to turn the vehicle on though. So see, it shows the battery, and what the date is, the temperature, the range, and then you got comfort. And okay, so you have to actually turn on the vehicle to go on comfort. But yeah, so now everything's turned on. So actually now we could see stuff like the vehicle comfort, the ambient lighting, distance, date, your drive, normal. You could change like the height of the car, the level, everything like that. You could actually put on electric sports sound. Just press that, and sadly, actually wait, we might be able to drive a base Taycan. I don't know if it has electric sports sound, but if we could drive that, maybe I could show you what it sounds like. But it sounds like, it sounds like really cool. I'll actually play a video right now, and so you'll saw that. You got gateway, you have your Android Auto and everything like that. So it's pretty simple setup, nothing really crazy. You could have like options here as well, and so really simple setup here, not anything like too complex. You got a screen here as well, just for your seats, which is pretty interesting. Also, you could have like all your different things, like your roof. You could actually open it up. Check this out. Just press one button. So actually, I guess it didn't work. Maybe you have to press something off. Yeah, so we just cleared up the roof, so now I could easily see out of it, which is nice. And then I guess you can make it closed back up. Actually, with this, check this out. Check out how neat that is. Okay, so you look up. Every time you scroll, one more goes like this. Check how cool that is. To tell the truth, I didn't even know that was there. I thought it was just like a little screen that you didn't really need. But yeah, so you got that really cool blocking. I actually never knew you had something like that, and you could completely open up the roof if you want. And so that's really cool. You have your little air things here. I believe you have to control them through here somehow, and I don't know how. And so yeah, you got all your nice leather materials. You got like your park switch and everything like that. You got your infamous drive modes that you could turn back and forth, sport and everything like that. You have, of course, your turbo logo and my favorite steering wheel of all time, the Porsche steering wheel. Nice. It's not too large and not too slippery. got these cool buttons that almost look like they're floating, which is pretty cool. And then also you got your pedals there, so you could see those little pedals. And this could actually do one pedal driving. And for those who don't know, that's actually where you actually drive just like this. You press the accelerator, and you actually, the way you drive with one pedal driving, you just press the accelerator, and then it actually goes, okay? And then you just let go of the accelerator, or the gas pedal, and the car brakes, which is really neat. And actually, all EVs had it. We tested that out, not me, but my parent tested that out in the Tesla Model Y Juniper, and that was pretty cool. And so I think we've checked out all of this front seats. Now let's hop in the back. You got also this carbon trim here. It says Taycan Turbo S, which glows. It's pretty neat. Let's close this up and hop in the back seat. And this is what the seats look like at their way most back position. So you got an actually not that bad amount of legroom. There's like these little indents for extra knee space. I actually have a not horrible foot room. For a grown-up, it wouldn't be too great. But yeah, so you got an okay amount of legroom here, but this is with the seats all the way back. With them forward, I'll show you right now, it looks definitely better. So this is what it looks like with the seats just forward, so that a normal adult will still be really comfortable. And you got a good amount of foot room here, a great amount of knee room, and a good support also, good leg support. And these seats are actually relatively comfortable for a Porsche. Most Porsches aren't like extremely comfortable. This one is actually surprisingly comfortable. So yeah, hold you in place, not bad. Got your nice Porsche seat belts here, which these are actually better than the front seat belts, which is really nice. And so yeah, also this is actually an update. You got a new screen here, a little touch screen that you could heat or cool the seats, and then also the fan, which is nice. You could go into AC or eco mode. I don't know if you guys could see that. You got a little storage here as well. And then you hop into this middle seat, and this is just with the same amount of legroom, and it's actually pretty good. Here it's supposed to put your feet like this. I actually would have kind of preferred if this was just cut off to there, so you could just put your feet in, but it's not too terrible. It's okay, just like most every other cars, because middle seats are usually not too comfortable. And the reason why, of course, is because if you pull this down, then you got cup holders, also an armrest, and so it's not the most comfortable as usual. Also, you got your headrests here, tiny windows. That's one other thing that I could say are not the greatest, because you have really, really, really tiny windows, just like Audi e-tron GT. If you look here, also you got some nice little connectors there as well. And so overall, this back seats are actually not horrible. Headroom as well in this middle seat is actually pretty good. I think another reason they put a glass roof is because if they didn't, the roof would be like this thick, and it'd be kind of hard to sit in the middle. But even for an adult, this is definitely a great amount of headroom here, and even in the middle seat, I think it's pretty great. And you go to pieces here. This is pretty much like the front seats, just put in the back. And you could also pop this down, and when you do that, this piece also pops up, and you can just pop that down, and then you could have larger trunk space, a lot of more trunk space, which is nice. Actually, you have settings here, heating, balance, everything like that. You could have a climate menu, and actually check this out. So here, let's turn on. Actually, okay, so I guess it's not on, but you could actually control where the air flows. Check out how neat that is. Just kind of like in Teslas, you could control which way it flows. and the screen's actually pretty reactive, surprisingly. And so yeah, you got that. And overall, it's pretty nice in here, pretty spacious and comfortable. You got some handles, a nice little light there. And so yeah, I think we've checked out all of this super sedan. Now, one more thing I want to show y'all before actually we near the end of our video is one thing that I haven't talked about, which is actually this. So let's zoom into there, and you have like, it's actually really cool the way it's rounded. The front screen is rounded. You have the speed limit and stuff because there's cameras that show you how fast you're going. Also, you of course see your speed, you see your range, and of course also you see your day and your battery life and what time it is. So that's pretty nice as well. Let's zoom out of there. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. Everything about this car, to tell the truth, personally, I really like about it. It's comfortable, it's relatively spacious. The performance is, you already know, mind-boggling. You got a lot of carbon that says Taycan on it, which is nice. And there's just so much cool tech in this car, like the screens and stuff isn't that crazy, but the lights and everything like that are super nice. That's what they look like when they're on. And so yeah, I hope you liked this video. Remember to like and subscribe to Xaaron Reviews, and see y'all next time. And also check out my X account, where I post all the latest car news from Porsches to Bugattis to Teslas, and see y'all later.